What's up everybody, Shadow Ninja here, and welcome back to RageQuit. A couple of weeks ago we talked about Predator Hunting Grounds, the newest game made by IllFonic, the same company that brought us Friday the 13th, the game. The full game has finally been released on PC and PS4, and we're going to be taking a look at Predator Hunting Grounds in its fullest form. So let's waste no time and hop right into this RageQuit review. If you guys clicked onto this video, you probably got one question in mind. Is the game good, and is it worth buying? That's kind of a loaded question, to be honest. The game's got some really cool ideas, some fun gameplay and constantly changing experience, tons of customization options and variations, on top of a completely free loot system through random cosmetic boxes. But the game kind of falls flat on its face on a technical level. I'm reviewing my copy of the game for the PS4, so the experience may vary by platform. But let's get into all the good stuff first. Like I said, this game has a lot of cool stuff in it. 4 fireteam members drop down and attempt a military-based objective against AI guerrilla forces, while a 5th player hunts them down as the Yautja Predator. Starting off with the Predator gameplay similar to my beta review, everything is basically still the same. I believe they've buffed the Predator a little bit and tweaked some various gameplay-based things, but I still feel like Predlocks is way too weak. Very much like Friday the 13th, you can bring perks and gear with you, which helps your character a lot, and let's be honest, your efficiency with either human or Predator is going to be determined by what class you are. The Predator classes are really fun to mess around with, but I suggest you just stick to the Hunter class, as it has more perk and gear options. This can also be said with the Assault class on the Fireteam side. But as the Predator, you need to be fast and quiet. There's a lot of different ways to play. You'll find the lesser experienced hunters jumping in with their Elder Sword immediately and dying, or you can fight a more strategic hunter, placing traps and going in for big damage with the charged shoulder cannon. Personally, I'm a little mixture of both, but really it varies on what kind of fireteam you're up against. The Predator gameplay is fun, don't get me wrong, but sometimes the leaping mechanic feels a little clunky, and the charge slam you can perform doesn't work all the time, and overall, the Predator stuff is pretty cool, and I like how you can specifically queue up for certain roles. But unless you're the Berserker class with an overpowered kit, a casual Predator player will be constantly bullied by a well-coordinated fireteam. I honestly think Predlocks is too weak, and he may need some tweaking. The second wind stuff is cool too, to give you a chance to run away and heal up, but the humans can very easily catch up with the Predator because the second wind ability outlines the Predator in white, and the Predator can no longer climb trees, leap, turn invisible, or even attack. And in my playthroughs, more than often than not, my Predator would easily be mowed down by a team of soldiers who chase me during my whole duration of my second wind. And since queue times for the Predator are high right now, you can kind of understand the frustration with that. But there is a learning curve with that role, and even though it can feel badass to play as the Yautja, the fireteam is so much easier. There's another thing I want to talk about too, and that's the queue times. In the betas, the queues were extremely long. Even as a fireteam member, some matches could take up to 6 or 7 minutes to load in. In the full release, being a soldier is so much better queue-wise. You could get into a game within 30 seconds or less, and they've done a patch after the game came out. But if you're trying to play as the Predator, good luck getting into a game in a reasonable time. One queue almost took me 10 minutes, but they kind of fixed this too, so now you can get into games a little quicker, but the Predator queues are still so painfully long. I prefer playing as the fireteam, to be honest, because the squad coordination has gotten so much better from beta. A lot more people use voice chat, and surprisingly, the devs added a proxy chat between Predator and human. And to be honest, I don't like it when the odds are stacked against me as a Yautja. I feel like there's too much pressure, and plus it's faster to get into a fireteam match. One thing they did take away, however, is one person being able to become a Predator in a public group. In Friday the 13th, it was always fun when one of your friends became Jason, and it would cause some funny and epic moments. I'm kind of bummed out that they took that feature out of the game, but I guess it does prevent teaming and farming for XP, but for some reason you can still progress your level and farm by playing private matches. Let's segue over to the human gameplay. Has it gotten better from the beta? Absolutely not, in my opinion. Though it still is very fun to play with a group of friends, the randos you'll get in a solo queue won't do you any favors unless they're talking in game chat or coordinating in some way, shape, or form. But playing by yourself can often be a chore. Some players spawn into the match AFK and die quickly, some leave when they die, preventing a revive. Most players also split up and chase the Predator and ignore the mission, and another majority of people do the exact opposite and tunnel vision through the objective without paying attention to where the Predator is. That's not the game's fault though. That's just the socialism of Hunting Grounds right now, because everyone is still trying to get a hold of the game and trying to figure out how to play it, and Predator players are getting the absolute brunt of it. It's pretty difficult playing as the Predator. I mean, you're one person against 4 dudes with guns who can tear you apart pretty quickly if you mess up, but most Predator players I go up against just kind of run in, die, and self-destruct, causing the game over, which is a gripe I talked about in my beta review. In a hypothetical game, if a Predator jumped in and died by self-destructing, a game could last 2 minutes tops. Neither Predator nor Fireteam player would get any XP basically, and that's wasted time queuing up for minimal rewards. That's why I'm saying if the humans do manage to kill the Predator, whether it blows itself up or if the body is extracted by OWLF, players could still continue their mission, but I doubt they'd add that feature. But human gameplay still looks very botched and choppy as well. Frame rate is the #1 downfall for human gameplay. The fact that the game doesn't run smooth takes you out of the moment a little bit and kind of ruins the experience. The AI are kind of weird as well. They run at you, stand still, and fire, but are complete bullet sponges. It took me a whole assault rifle clip and a half to kill one of those helmeted soldiers. They don't melee and they don't take cover. The stealth aspect of the game is a little weird too, because the AI can see you from a mile away, but they can't hear you running up behind them, and at times they don't even get alerted by gunshots and explosions. The environments in the game is still very destructible. Leaves on the ground can be shot or even cut with a knife, which is cool, and the branches on the trees can be shot down. Bodies can be dismembered, which is awesome as well, but that all adds to the graphical problems I just mentioned. The game just doesn't feel very smooth at all. Even when you get up close and personal and start meleeing guys as the Predator, the frames drop drastically, and this flaw alone completely changes the gameplay. I barely lag, my ping is always at a constant 20 to 30 ms, but the game slows me down and kind of disoriented my gameplay. On console at least, there are little to no video options, you can't adjust the screen resolution, and you can't disable the nauseating motion blur effect. You can change the brightness, and that's pretty much it. To be honest, I don't care if the game is darker, I just want to be able to see shit. The button layout is a little confusing as well. There is literally a button for everything as the Fireteam member and Predator, and in certain instances, some commands kind of get in the way of each other. A glaring example is the Reload Interact button. Oh my god, you have no idea how many times I died because I tried to interact with the chopper rope and my character instead dumbassly reloads his machine gun. I don't know what the devs were thinking when they made these two commands the same button. The interact command is crucial to escaping, reviving teammates, and completing objectives. I just look like an idiot most times reloading my gun when I really wanted to pick up my teammates. You can always remap your controls, but this doesn't really seem to solve the problem either. Another issue I have with the game is the lack of map variation. Technically there are 3 playable maps, but it feels the same no matter what map you're on. I get it, we're replicating the first Arnie film here. I love the aesthetics and how faithful it is to the first movie, but hearing the same music for hours on end, looking at the same scenery over and over again, gets a little boring. I really hope in the future they add some night variations, maybe a foggy forest, or hell, a village or city like in Concrete Jungle. In Friday the 13th, the devs made maps that cater to nearly all the games, and I really hope they can do the same with this one. And I hope they add some new cosmetics too, because you start to get duplicates in your loot boxes very quickly, and all of the stuff that you would normally aim for, like Predator masks, skin patterns, war paints, and accessories for your Fireteam, is hidden in the very back of the game, and the boxes give you shaders for outfits, different gun colors, and different shaders for your Predator weapons. Like, to be honest, I don't really care about what color my net gun is. I don't give a shit if it's blue, bronze, red, or fucking pink. That's a part of the loot system. That part of the loot system is pretty frustrating, and the trophies you can get for the Predator, they are cool, and I saw that they have some hidden ones behind loot boxes, but the skulls don't really look that great. It's such a missed opportunity to have like a xenomorph skull on your back, or a constant human skull on your back. I don't really think that a Predator has much to brag about killing a bobcat. But what customization we do have now though, I am a big fan of. All of the stuff looks great, you can completely customize your Fireteam or Predator to look however you want, and your playstyle can always be catered to what classes, gear, and perks you have. All of the stuff in this game content-wise, like the progression, the customization, the maps, all of it is great, but I just want more of it. I feel like after you max out your level and earn or buy all the stuff you want cosmetic-wise, there's really no incentive to play the game anymore. I got a double XP for 2 days with my pre-order, and I played a lot, and I'm already like level 90 something. This game has a lot of heart, and I understand that maybe they couldn't drastically change anything from the beta because of what's going on in the real world right now. Maybe they're hard at work fixing the problems I just mentioned. I don't know. But nonetheless, I pre-ordered the game, so is it worth the money? To me it is. There's a lot of good content in the game. The gameplay kind of sucks you in and makes you want to play more because you can progress so fast in the beginning, even without a booster. The loot boxes are cool, but they do get redundant after a while. The Predator gameplay is awesome, but has a lot of balancing issues against the Fireteam, and on console you can barely see what you're shooting at as a human. I'm pretty sure in this review I missed a lot of things, as I kind of just rambled on about the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I do think Predator Hunting Grounds in its current state is a above average attempt at an asymmetrical multiplayer game. I understand it's not AAA, it doesn't run on the most advanced engine, and the dev team is relatively small, but as far as the initial launch goes, it's a little rough. I can highly recommend the game to any diehard Predator fan who can look past the obvious problems, because it is very faithful to the franchise and respects the movies by adding cool Easter eggs and nods to the other film, but on a technical level, it's kind of a mess right now. So in its current state, I gotta give Predator Hunting Grounds a 7 out of 10. Slightly above average, but there's so much potential with it. I do like the game a lot, and if I wasn't reviewing the game from a critical standpoint, I'd be praising it and throwing out 8 out of 10s out of my ass. But I am critically reviewing it, so that's where the game stands to me right now. I do understand that the devs have a roadmap ready and are currently working on some free content for us, which is always welcome. Even though I harshly rated the game, I'm still going to be playing it a lot because I love the Predator franchise and I do like this game, but I hope they can do better in the future. But guys, that's going to wrap up this Rage Quit review. I really hope that you guys liked the video and agree with all of the points that I made. If you guys did, make sure you press the like button. And if you disagree with any of my opinions, do not hesitate to go down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on the Predator Hunting Grounds game. And subscribe to the Rage Quit channel if you haven't already. But guys, I am Shadow Ninja, and you just watched a Rage Quit video about Predator Hunting Grounds, the official review. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.